So good to sit down. I've been in a flurry of activity, putting the baby to nap, the toddler to nap, and I'm so excited to share with you what's been brewing in my mind all week. Big family Christmas cleaning made easy. I did something this year I haven't done in the past, and I just was like, I gotta tell the big family moms about this because this is a game changer. It's almost like toilet training. It pays off so good. The things you do in the early years as a big family mom, they pay off. Because now I'm at what a gentleman at our church, he came to me the other day, and he's probably about maybe 10, 15 years older. And he said, "Oh, Terry, you're in the sweet spot now where all the kids are still at home. My oldest is almost 18, baby's turning 1 next week." And he said, and these are the golden years. And his wife recently passed away, sadly, in her 50s. And, they have 10 children just like us. So, we have 11. So, and they have one child in heaven. So, I took it really to heart to treasure these golden years, not only just because we're all at home, but also there's a beautiful symmetry of how we could all work together as a big family to get things done. So Christmas cleaning is here. I don't do it every year. We just moved into this house about 6 years ago. It's our first owned home. It was a total wreck when we got it. My husband's a handyman, so we've been slowly but surely fixing it up. You can see, like, in the background, it's the original trim, and it's going to take years to get it all done, but it's a work of art. We met in art class when we were 18. We weren't even Christians then. Oh, that's a whole other story for another day. So here we are making Christmas simple, because last year, my baby who's about to turn 1, well, I was heavily pregnant at this time, counting down, nesting hard. I already had Christmas pretty much ready to go in a closet of the guest room, and I skipped deep cleaning last year happily. I mean, deep cleaning is totally an option. However, as a homeowner, and just for my own personal, like, my comfort level, I can probably push deep cleaning off for about 3 years before the the pile up of grease and dust, and what grease and dust do together when they become one and have babies is something else. So, and because we have now 11 children, we, track in plenty of dirt and all kinds of things. There's plenty to clean up. And I feel pretty good about how I've got the day-to-day chore stuff down, which I share in my Big Family Moms group. If you want to know more about that, link in the video down below. But this year I did something different. So when I finally, whether it's every 2 years or 3 years, do some major Christmas cleaning. This is like cleaning the oven, cleaning out the cupboards, like with a vacuum and a toothbrush kind of thing. And again, I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but I choose to do it because it starts to ick me out. And I open up my home. The home God's entrusted to me, and it's a matter of good stewardship, being found faithful with what we have, what we've been entrusted with. And part of that is, the home that we're in and taking good care of it. So yeah, I don't want to let it get into ruin just because of years that blend into more years of neglect. And I don't have like a medical thing going on that would prevent me from doing that. And I do have my strength, and I do have 11 children still at home, many of whom are now in their teens. Now, when they were little, and maybe like Eden would have been, let's say 10, and we had 7 kids, pregnant with number 8 kind of thing, it looked different. Of course, at that time, we were living in a 3-bedroom townhome. It was a much smaller square footage. It was a lot less to do, and it was a rental. So I did the absolute bare minimum before God that I had to do to keep the house, safe and clean. I don't recall ever taking a toothbrush to the cabinets, but this kitchen that I'm looking at just beyond my laptop is a custom built kitchen, and we decided to go with snow white cabinetry because I like white. You can see from the trim. I think it's very elegant, and it's what I wanted to go with, the look and the feel of a house. So yes, the dust and the grime does show, and like, we wipe the outside of the cabinets about once a week. I have an annual chore system, and all my children 6 and up are involved in that. So they've got various chores according to their skill. They do it for the whole year, so they get really good at it and work on their attitude. But this year for Christmas cleaning, these are special chores above and beyond. Like I said, we got the oven, we got the cabinets cleaning, we got walls to wipe down, like the whole stairwell, because between about 2 feet and 4 feet, there's just this panel of gray smudge up the wall. I don't know if you have that at your house, but I have it all the time in my house. All these little tiny things that really only get to one day. High dusting, like we have fans in a lot of our rooms, and so just little things, but I've done them in the past, and it's part of my service unto the Lord and my family. Like I said, I've never begrudged them doing it, but now that I have perfectly capable, healthy teens in the house, it was definitely the year to get them involved. So I made a chore lottery system. What I did is I took just like index cards, cut them in 3, and I wrote out every like once a year deep cleaning. This might be spring cleaning for some. We just do it around Christmas time because I don't know. Christmas isn't Christmas unless my oven is clean. So I wrote them all out. What have I got here? I've got all kinds of different segments of the kitchen, like the cabinets where the dog food is. Everybody who lives here knows which cabinets I'm talking about. The cabinets in the corner by the toaster. So I kind of broke up the cabinets, uppers and lowers in the house. Oh, hang on, someone's coming in crying. Okay, she wants to go back outside, Bo?
She keeps going into the graveyard.
Oh, well, Gloria, you're not allowed to go play in the graveyard, but you can go back outside. Okay. Oh, Bo, you stay with her and I'll talk to you after. I'm just having a live right now, okay? Okay. Pardon me. Okay, back to it. I broke up all the chores into about 30-minute chores, and there were 19 of them when I was done. And of course, I'm pro level, right? I've been doing this for years, gotten really good at these chores. And my kids range, like I said, from 18. This is from the 18 to 12-year-old, so it's 5 children. And I made a lottery, and I just said, hey, pick 4, because we started homeschool vacation this week. We're taking 3 weeks off. We did that last year because we had a baby on the 20th, right before Christmas, and it was so good, actually. We took 3 weeks off, where historically I've taken 2. Completely arbitrary, because the laws in my province where I live don't dictate when I do and don't take time off for homeschool. So, I do stick to a routine. We start in September, and I do want to get up, the first week of January. But it felt so good to take that 3rd week off. I felt more rested. I felt my battery, my mom battery, my homeschool mom battery was more recharged. And of course, having a baby, it was just practical. But this year I said, I'm going to do it anyway. But this first week, which starts this week, let's do some chores. And the next week, right, we'll reward ourselves and we'll do our baking. We'll do some fun stuff. I do gingerbread cookies with the kids. I like to decorate it, make a gingerbread house that we eat on New Year's. There's some fun traditions that we've built over the years. And also, we're having family over this weekend. In-laws are coming. So, yippee! So it's a high motivation to get this all done. First set of people arrives Thursday afternoon, so we're getting it done. So I said, pick 4 cards, scribble your name in the corner, and then I just made this little so this is, one kid, the other kid, so 4 of them. And my oldest daughter, she didn't even need to be put on here because I just said, you've definitely proven yourself trustworthy. Get them done. I don't even need to be as strict with when she's going to do it. But for the boys, I did need to give them more parameters. So I said, right after breakfast, finish up breakfast, hit your chore. You're not doing homeschool, so hit your chore. I'll give you instructions if you need it, and you must pass inspection. And if you need a little bit more coaching, no problem. We'll just get it done in the morning. Then you get the whole rest of the day yourself. And I did say, but if, however, you give me a hard time and it's wine, and I have to inspect more than 3 times, and I just really feel like you're pushing it, you're just being really, whiny about the whole thing. I was like, that's fine. That's your choice, but it will connect to your freedoms in the afternoon. So, I'm always connecting freedom and responsibility, raising up the next generation before God, doing what I can as a first-generation Christian to raise my children grounded in biblical principles, biblical morality, biblical worldview. And one of them is taking self-responsibility before God and man. And chores is a great way to work on, like I said before, 2 things: skills, just practical skills, right? Your own sense of your work ethic, but then also your character, right? Your attitude, and you're presented with a task that maybe it wasn't what was your choice, but God has brought it to you, and now it's up to you what you're going to do about it, right? So I may not have a lot of control over many comings and goings in the big world, or for my children here at home, right? Their world is a little smaller than the global world that they're really aware of and thinking about like adults would. And as right it should be. They don't really have to think very beyond their day and maybe their friends and their community and so on. But they do need to think about at home and taking their chores seriously, and I require them. So boys knew, and you know what? Hasn't been a problem at all. And part of it is because I start them young. I've started them on chores ever since they were 6 years old. And like I said before, if you want to learn more about how I do that, I've shared that all in my Big Family Moms group. It's all for free in the guide section. So they've already done half these chores. So the first 2, I just kind of taped them all up. I wasn't trying to make it pretty, just making it work. And I sticked it above the microwave. The first day was yesterday, and I sat down at 10 o'clock. All the chores were done. So 10 o'clock, like little younger kids have a little snack. I was having my cup of coffee. I think I was reheating my cup of coffee. And I just had this moment where I was like, do you know how long it would have taken me to do what my 4 sons just did? They were done by 9:15. And then I was able to just, putz around and do a few other things, had some phone calls, just regular everyday stay-at-home mom stuff. And by 10 o'clock, when I really took my first little scheduled break, I have to make myself stop. Otherwise, I can keep going and burn myself out very easily. Wow. How long would it have taken me to do just those 4 chores, right? That would have been my whole morning. How long would it take me to do all 19 chores all on my own? And I know some moms, they've been vulnerable enough to share with me how they don't train their kids to do chores. They just, for however they got there, they got there. And now, they'll say, oh my gosh, my house is a mess. Everything's everywhere. I'm stressing out. I'm angry and yelling at the kids. What do I do? And the first question I'm going to ask is, well, how old are your kids, right? Because if they're 4 and under, okay. But if they're 14 and under, if they're 24 and under and they're still living at home, then I can give different advice. I can tailor my advice differently. So if this is you and you're facing Christmas and you do have at least 19 worth of chores that you want done, or maybe it's just like there's a decluttering project, like, Tara, that's awesome, but it's not going to be this year. Again, remember I said I will skip Christmas deep clean or spring clean whenever you do it, sometimes up to 3 years at a time, depending on a variety of things, right? My energy, if we're having a baby that year, just stuff. I did share in an earlier video that this year I decided to simplify things for myself. I decided not to do a Christmas card this year. Shh, don't tell my aunt. She loves that Christmas card. She was just telling me about it the other day, and I'm like, what am I going to tell her? It's not coming. Should I make one just for her? I always do like a newsletter and print it out, send it to like 85 people. And I just, for a variety of reasons, said, you know what? No, not this year. It's okay. I'm going to skip it. I've never skipped it before. You getting cold? Okay, well, there's only about 10 more minutes, hon. So stand inside for about 3 minutes and then go back out, okay? You'll be fine. You're having an outside playtime. So I'll wrap it up quick. So like I was saying, if this year is looking really daunting for you because you do have some tasks you want to get done before Christmas, be it some deep cleaning or some decluttering, then feel free to take advantage of the resources that I have stored for free in the Big Family Moms group. If you're already in it, awesome. Then it's the guide sections usually up at the top. If you're looking on a desktop, but if it's on your phone, sometimes people don't realize there's like this little 3 hamburger bars up on the side. You click it, it opens up something called Community Home, and then you'll see guides right under there. Guides, events, a couple of their it's like a little menu. So that's where you would find that. But if you want to deep dive even further and you want the whole thing, you want to get as a big family mom into a good routine, get this house organized, stop being buried in clutter, and then all the stress and the yelling and the frustration, the conflict that can come from just not feeling like I have a real handle on this big family mom life. I get it, because I wasn't raised for this either. I did not grow up like this. I wasn't even a Christian. I've put together my Big Family Home course, which is available, linked below. That's there for you, and it's going to help you in all the key areas, the big pain points that moms tell me over and over and over again, where they really feel it as a big family mom. Not having a routine, totally feeling disorganized, not being a con mom, same thing with the kids, just way too much yelling and conflict. And lastly, budget. So I'm going to show you all of that, how to feed your family on a budget, get organized, get into a routine, and keep calm as a mom. Help the kids do it too. So if you want to check that out, again, there's a link below that's there to help you. It's what I wish I had when I was a young big family mom, just trying to figure it out way back when we lived in our rental 3-bedroom home and I was pregnant with number 8. We went all the way to almost 8 kids. We moved in here when I was heavily pregnant with baby number 8. And it felt like I'd finally moved into some pants that fit. You know what I mean? So very grateful that the Lord has entrusted us with this, hoping he'll entrust us with more, should that be his will. But I will be faithful with what he's put in front of me, certainly in terms of like our material possessions, but even more so, right? The children, these treasures, these eternal treasures that there's no price in the whole world, except for perhaps the precious blood of the Lamb, right? So I'm going to wrap up because it seems like the kids are getting to the end of their outside time. We're going to merge into the rest of our day because I do actually have a routine even while we're on vacation, but it's just got a little more flex. So chat with you in the group. Hope this has been a blessing to you. I'll talk to you later.